Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing Syria in Victoria 3. Last episode we broke free of Russia's market after joining it the previous episode. The way they were running their market was really harsh and Armello, and so we had to leave the market. What they were doing is they were doing what Russia kind of should do, is they were exporting almost entirely all of their all their like input goods. So they were like exporting iron, they were exporting grain, they were exporting grain, they were exporting fabric, they were exporting hardwood, regular wood, and we want all of those inputs to be cheap in our market, and so they were doing basically the complete opposite of what we wanted to do. And so while we would love to siphon off pops from them, so we lower our average wage quite a bit, we're just going to go it our own way, and we are going to kind of have a little bit of a problem, what's going to happen is our standard of living will keep going up and up and up, and the tension will not resolve by attracting migrants from within our market, because our own market is too small. There's just like Argentina in it, and, a couple countries here in Arabia, and that's it. And so what we will instead be doing is we'll be probably cranking this up quite a bit until we eventually get to the point where we will be getting mass migration events, and this is how we are going to increase our pop via migration. But for now, we're going to try and enact multiculturalism as well as freedom of conscience. Hopefully we can get, or we finally were able to get the Intelligentsia into the government last episode, which is really, really, really nice. The Landowners are also starting to get weak, we're cool with that. And so we're finally getting, the Unholy Alliance in where they should be into government. Also, last episode, we did balance this negative economy. We will be continuing to kind of run this. The thing is we also have our investment pool that's growing by quite a bit. And so we will look to expand construction. We will have to pay more on the wages, but we will not have to pay for any of the construction goods. And so we will slowly ramp up construction in our market as well. And so hopefully we can really turn a corner this episode. We're going to up this. Now, as far as other expansion goes, I think we need to incorporate one of these states too. We currently are using our singular interest. We can only declare one interest. We can declare two now. Hot. Okay. So our plan, in terms of expanding the market and general expansion, is I would love to get Persia into our market. This would be really fantastic if we could get Persia into our market. And okay, they're pretty close. We just would have to get bigger than them and also get a obligation from them. So we're going to try and do that, but for now, what we are going to do is we are going to trade as much as possible with the Persians, maybe try and get a trade agreement with them, and try and prevent them from joining Russia's market. If we can get Persia, then hopefully we can snake our way, in terms of market, into a border with Great Qing, so we can do a lot of trade volume with them without needing a ton of convoys. So we're going to try and get Persia, Afghanistan, and then either, what is this, Kokand or Kokandi? So it's Kokand and Sikh. Sikh puns, bro. We're going to try and get them into our market in terms of like a macro, what we're going to be doing. We do have to wait for our interest to get there in Persia, and then we can start trading with them. I was going to say we want to annex Zulu or someone down here so we can maintain our interest down here, but that's fine for now. Russia is expanding quite a bit. Great Britain wants a defensive pact. I think I'm pretty okay with this. I don't think anyone... Who's really going to attack Great Britain? But who's going to attack us? Well, I guess Russia could. Huh. It's a little bit of an inflection point here. I think we would also not mind being in their customs union too much, although it seems that it's doing weird things when we join in the customs union. We are also going to try and diplomatically get these guys now, because it is too hard to declare a war down here, and I think we could get these guys, so I don't think we want to join a market. And so this does provide a bit of an opportunity. If we have a defensive pact with them, they probably won't mess with us, because their interest in down here in La Plata when we go after Chile, because they have the Falkland Islands. It's the Falkland Islands, for those of you who don't know. This is really tempting. I haven't, so, generally speaking, every time I did an alliance or a defensive pact with the AI on, the initial 1.0 release, I just felt like I was getting fucked by them. So I've stopped I've stopped doing it. But now maybe might be the time to kind of lean into that a little bit. Huh. I'm really not sure what I'm supposed to do here. Because we would get clapped by the Ottomans, the Russians, or the Egyptians if they declare war on us. And we can't find someone to join. So this is a nice little insurance policy. But we actually will have to go to war at some point with the UK. So maybe getting involved with them is not the way to go. Oh yeah, we'll take this. And then... So we will probably need to start bankrolling... what happened to us making money? Oh, it's because we're working on these two, which don't get paid for. This is fine. Brazil's damaging relations? Come on, Brazil. Why you gotta do us like that? We will also have to... We're starting to have to keep an eye on, you know, infrastructure a little bit. I think we will expand some of this stuff a little bit, or put some more in the queue. Clothing is really efficient. This is also... But we have a clothing mill somewhere. We have clothing also in Syria here. And so maybe we want to expand steel and tools more so than clothing. Uruguay wants a defensive pact, and they're offering us an obligation, so that is a little bit tempting. Could we pull you into the customs union with an obligation? We could, which I kind of like the idea of. And then we will invite to the customs union. We'll use the obligation. So now they're going to be in our customs union. And once we have that, we will be... It's kind of close to getting to the point where we can tributary them. And this is something we will maybe do somewhere down the line. So that's nice for the expansion. Persia started an import route for clothes. We will start a bunch of trade routes with Persia now that we have the interest down there. And hopefully we can pull them into our market, which would be very, very nice. Because they will consume a lot of our goods. And they will also migrate. So this would be really nice if we can get Persia and, let's see, what's their population? 6 million. So this will be nice if we could get them and snake our way into here. Sikh notably has a large population. So if we could get some larger population states, that will allow us to, you know, pull the standard of living back down a little bit via migration and make the labor cheaper while still... Alright, we're going to trade agreement them. They're pretty close to wanting to do customs union. They don't like the fact that we're both unrecognized powers. So we probably have to get a little bit stronger before we can get this. But let's take a look at the market. And what they got. Show me what you got. So we can export to them luxury furniture. Regular furniture. Let's take a look. Furniture. Luxury furniture. Probably luxury clothes as well. They started their own route for regular clothes. No, not luxury clothes. And this sort of stuff. And what can we import from you? We can import sugar. Sugar. It's alphabetized, but I don't know my alphabet, so... It does take me a little while to find these things. Hardwood. Oh, they're making hardwood and they're not using any of it. We could import regular wood from them as well. Fantastic. And... we can't import because they don't have a large enough amount. But we will also import tea. Because it's quite cheap here. And they're adjacent and they will accept our trade agreement. I think we'll import... I think we are exporting liquor, but we will engage in a little bit of triage. So we don't consume a lot of liquor because we're Muslim and it's a taboo. But we can import it and then export it to someone else, which is kind of what we'll do. And we could also import dyes from them. Yeah. And let's see, fruit and grain else are the other ones it looks like, or fabric as well. Fabric, fruit, and grain. Perfect. So now we have quite a lot of volume of trade. You see all these trade routes over here. And they will not cost us any bureaucracy to upkeep. Chile wants an alliance. I don't think that's going to fly, Chile. Well, we can get you in the customs union, too. Are you offering us... No, you're not offering us a... We're going to decline. If they were offering us an obligation, we might accept. Now, how close are you to accepting a customs union? Kind of close. We have a large volume of trade, or a larger growing volume of trade with them, which is going to make all of our businesses a lot more profitable, and we are mainly importing inputs, right? And so this will be good. We're also going to try and... get these people into our customs union, you know, the old-fashioned way. Liège is not in a market currently. And they don't have any type of... Okay, they have a truce with Russia. So maybe we can go after Liège and make them a vassal. Let's take a look at our own infamy. Alright, we're going to take a save because this is the Wild West in the Arabia, and I have no idea who, like, joins if we just have a completely wild thing, and I've just been, for this run, taking saves. We can conquer state them. I think, as the way we are going to go about this. And if we get some absolutely wild situation in regards to people joining, we'll have to figure something out. But just conquering them will be quite nice. We will be able to incorporate them just one step closer to forming Arabia. I do think we want to try and get them as somehow as a change to our customs union, which I have no idea how we were going to manage that, but we are adjacent to them, so that makes us more appealing than Austria. But that's kind of it. We are losing money again, which is unfortunate. But I think that's because we are building stuff... Yeah, we were building stuff that wasn't covered. We're still building stuff that's not covered. Oh. Okay, I think these are not covered. Yeah, there we go. So now we're making money. So I guess we will not expand these. I guess we do want the third level. Okay, we're going to put that in the queue. It's going to be expensive. It'll be fine, though. But then we will focus largely on this stuff. I think we'll plop down another rail here. Ooh, you're having input problems. What, engines? So I know this place is having a lot of trouble employing, but this place should be able to employ a little bit easier, so we're going to put more in the queue. Yikes. Let's see if we can import engines to try and solve this problem. And who do we already have a good volume of trade with? Well, I guess we'll do it with the French market. Just a moment. And we are back. And we didn't mute our mic this time, so you can hear me. Yep. So I'm guessing they're just gonna back down here. Right, because we have an infinitely larger... Well, I guess maybe we do have to mobilize. We'll move it there. Just in case they don't back down, we'll take an unpause, and we'll probably just move to speed 3, because I think that we're starting to make a lot of mistakes on, you know, our current speed, so this will kind of help things out a little bit. Liège backs down. We now have this territory. I freaking hate how they do this. They just build infinite ports. It's really stupid AI. We're just going to downsize some of them. That way these places can employ, because this stuff's way better. Actually, we're gonna even more. And then we're gonna turn these on to cargo, turn on the cargo ports. Maybe one more. I guess we should have turned on the cargo ports and then deleted them, that way they would stay deployed. But this is fine. That'll make our trade routes a little bit better. Generally speaking, things will be able to increase in level. And it looks like we are going to have to diplo-get some of these other boyos. Like, these guys are in the Russian market, so if we declare war on them, they're not going to play nice with us. Quality starts here. A new character appears in Syria. Equality starts here. New character. So I assume that that's a new character for the Intelligentsia. Or was that this guy, an abolitionist? Not the mod. I think he was a modder before. I think this guy changed and he's more popular now. I'm not sure who the new character is. Who's the new cat? But now we're down to, you know, kind of the last vestiges, or we're down to the last few. Quasmin State is a subject of Russia, so Russia will protect them. We can't fight Russia. Bread and blood. I think we're just gonna give you... let you sort yourself out. Because our standard of living is cranking up. You know, that event should solve itself to some degree. But Oman, we are going to try and diplo-get. We could try and conquer them, but for whatever reason, it wouldn't let us start a play against them. And so we're going to try and make them into a tributary after inviting them to the customs union. We can try and bankroll them. Oh, it's only 0.3k? That's cheap. We will pay for that. And Quasmin State, let's see how... It's around 1k. That's a little rich for our blood. We'll work on this guy at current juncture. And these guys are a subject. They're a tributary, so they can't just swap. And these guys are a protectorate, so they can't just swap. So... okay, we will try and get Egypt into our market, I guess. We're not paying too much from Diplopacts. Yeah, just this 300 to Oman. And Persia, how are you feeling about joining a customs union? So, bankrolling them I think would be a little bit too rich, too expensive. But if we can get an obligation from them at some point, we can get them into our customs union. So if they like want to make a defensive pact and they'll give us an obligation, that would be fantastic. We still have a lot of Diplo left over. We're not using too much of it. Let's see who we are making relations worse with the Quasmid State. I guess we're going to stop doing that. Because we need to damage relations with Russia anyways. To make that work, we want to damage relations with them. We want to damage relations with them. And we can annex Argentina now. Let's just double check, because Great Britain can stick their finger in our pie here, but they're protective of us, so they're likely not to intervene, even though they have the Falkland Islands. So we can annex Argentina here. We have low infamy, so this is kind of, I think, a good move here. And we'll just put this guy on this front. I very much doubt Great Britain will join against us. If they do, I don't know, we'll cry. Someone else joins against us, though, we can probably puppet them or something like this. Shift work is kind of nice, kind of not needed. We're not built tall enough for that to matter. This will help expand us a little bit. Dynamite knowledge is spreading to us. We're also just generally speaking looking for a spot, yeah, where one of these guys is having a huge revolution, because when that happens we can demand recognition relatively easily, and that will be the easiest spot to demand recognition. I believe we wanted to incorporate, yeah, let's incorporate you, and we of course will need some more bureaucracy. This trade center is super high, chalked up. And we're running this negative because they don't want to pay for the bureaucratic center. Chile starts with Argentina against us. Not exactly what we wanted, but we will have a little bit of a think now. Because they are just uncertain, and they're just, ooh, they're pretty close to neutral. So we can vassalize Chile here. That'll take us... Oh, I really don't want to go over 25. It'll cost 18 plus 6. Oh, okay, so that won't take us over 25. And if they back down, though, that'll really suck, because we will still accrue a bit of infamy. But I think this war is really good for us, if we can vassalize Chile as well. So I'm going to wait for this to get much closer to popping off, and then add vassalize Chile. I'll play in no work. We're just gonna fire him. I'm gonna recruit a new general. I'm gonna recruit him, but we're gonna... I was gonna say we're gonna hope we find another non-landowner. We'll use this guy for now, I suppose. And then we will... So usually if someone's going to join against you, they join relatively early, so we will make a vassal out of Chile with the war goals, and we hope that this war pops off. They're just minus 11, so it probably will. There's a chance they back down, but hopefully they don't, otherwise we just are left with holding the bag with a bunch of extra infamy. But if this war does pop off, we will get Chile, which is kind of Paraguay size with Argentina. Do we want to do anything against Paraguay? I don't think we could afford to conquer Paraguay. Yeah, we can't vassalize or conquer Paraguay, so this will just be a thorn in our side, but whatever. And let's see what's expensive in our market and see if we can solve it. It's engines and guns. Okay, I think that you're fully employed, so why don't we expand you a couple levels? One in the front, one in the back. And engines is having a hard time employing in general. The PM's not very efficient. That is one of our problems. We could even go for a better PM. No, we have to go electrical generation and then combustion or something. It's unfortunate. Maybe we could import some of this stuff. We can import it from the Russians. We have a trade agreement with Russia. So I think I'm fine importing this from Russia. We're doing it because it costs no bureaucracy and no convoys to import from the Russian market. And then we will delete one of these from the back of our queue. Not the one we already have progress on, because we will not need that as badly. So that will be a nice little pickup. Chile has a population of, let's see, 1.2 million. So adding 1.2 million to the market is going to be nice in terms of, you know, getting people to migrate to the places that have jobs. Also, once we get the migration up and coming, this city will become a lot better, or the state will become a lot better, because, you know, a lot of these places are having trouble employing. The standard of living here is 19. Like, it has a decent pull. You know, if we go to the migration, it has some of the better pull in all of our states, except for this place, which has the absolute banger trade center, because it's the trade center with Russia. Oh, we are gotta get unpaused. I was like, man, it seems like this is taking forever for this war to pop. No one else can join. It looks like they do have a bit of a big war. Russia wants us to enter their customs union. We will say no. We just exited your customs union, my boy. And I think we will add a few more battalions here. Just 2, actually. Because I see how much money we're losing. But we do want a little bit more oomph for this war. So, but just, I think we just need a little bit. I think that combined with our shortages getting fixed. Now we aren't using... Why do we have buy orders for ammunition? What is that? Is that pop consumption? Conscription center. So we definitely want to take a look at our... Because we aren't using any conscripts. How is that... Where's the ammo usage coming from in the conscription center? I'm so confused. These guys are 3 days away. Should get there basically right on time. And off and away we get with this war, which is looking pretty good. We do have an opium shortage. We could import that from the Austrian market because Egypt does produce it. And we have a a really desperate need for paper. I think what we want to do is we don't have an industry here yet, and we don't have an industry here. Here has the trade center, so that's something. But here we will make the papels. Assuming... we have no industry in Palestine as well. We'll make the papels in Palestine. And we'll set them on auto-expand. And by making paper cheaper, we will decrease the price of government goods. And here they'll actually be able to employ... Whereas here, we have, like, jobs available in the papels. Oh, we don't even. Let's click this on auto-expand as well. Because we do have really expensive paper. We could import paper a little bit for the time being. But we're about to pop multiculturalism, so we are probably going to, after that happens, stop bolstering the Intelligentsia. They are free to fly free. Do want the trade unions to have a little bit of a come up, but we will see how things go. Multiculturalism, excellent. So we will stop bolstering these guys so that we have an authority surplus. And we will take a look at total separation. Now this will radicalize the rural folk and the devout. So the question is do we want to tear the band-aid off? I think not, actually. Although this radicalizes like the same people. There's no like law. Private health insurance we could pass pretty comfortably. And it'll make just a few people happy, no one unhappy. This is generally the type of law we like. We are running a papel shortage now. So let's import it from the Russian market. Russia's, it's just gonna alleviate the shortage, not do much more than that, which we are kind of okay with. Let's look and see if we have any unprofitable trade routes. Let's ditch this one. Kind of want to keep this one. We do, I think, have a trade agreement with Austria, so I'm more than happy to keep importing, even though it's not profitable for that stuff. It looks like our allies are helping out. Just chugging through in the back line. It's like such a weird, silly mechanic where one little battalion could just absolutely wreck a front by just doing this, and he only has one general, so the general's going to be tied up here, while our subject just rips through the back line. Probably not how it should work, but it is how it works. And we're going to puppet... Yeah, this is going to be fantastic for us, this little annexation. Let's take a look at how Persia's feeling about us. Yeah, not particularly close. How is our Omani bankroll? We will... Long term, I'm not sure how we get them into the market. Also, we have to figure this out here. I think we might have to increase... we can't increase tactics. That'd be a neat trick, huh? But we do get a mass migration event, which is real big. Or actually, I clicked through that. I didn't see where it was. I think it was to us, though. I hope it was to us. What was it, Italians? So, a lot of migration here. The migration pool is high. Okay, it looks like this is a mass migration, right? That's what that is. That's what that symbol means. North Italian. Fantastic. We get our first migration event, mass migration event, which will happen as we get this higher. We will just have a higher equilibrium because we are not siphoning off from like Russia's market or something. We have a higher equilibrium because we will be dependent on mass migration events. But those will pop off and be real good for us. Also does do the surrounding areas, so maybe we can, you know, up this a little bit. This. And this in terms of the queue. See if we have any infrastructure problems anywhere. They are sitting on 3, so I'm going to put one in the back of the queue. Kind of preemptively. These guys also are sitting on low amounts. So just to make sure we kind of solve that in a timely fashion. Nejd is going to need some soon. Why don't we add a port solve their problem. Are pushing into Chile here quite nicely. And let's see. I think we're incorporating everyone here, or have incorporated. Or I guess we're working on it here. But this will all turn out quite nicely. Education investment has increased. And our education access should increase by quite a lot as the standard of living goes up because we have private schools. And we are building some paper manufactories ourselves. So these are taking off a little bit. Why don't we put another one in back? Why aren't you employing? What? We do have some expensive inputs in that regard. Sulfur is expensive. Can't really import it very well. So we will increase it a little bit and set it on auto expand. I think we also need to get these boom booms kind of coming back up. So we'll do that. Now we have a boom boom factory. It's on auto expand. It's not employing us the problem. We get nationalism, which gives us a nice amount of authority, which will allow another consumption tax. We'll tax luxury furniture. We are going to lose that once we pass separation. But I guess dynamite's not spreading, so I guess we'll just let it not spread. I guess I don't hate getting into ironclad. We'll go percussion cap into rifling, I think, so that we can research ironclad without the penalty. Because I don't hate that combined with gentry cranes for the industrial ports transition. The earlier you do it, the less uncomfortable it is on the economy. How are you feeling about us? Our kingdom for a freaking just lob us up and send us a free obligation, please. I'm gonna try and keep a close eye on this guy, who we are bankrolling. The bankroll is a little bit expensive. Quasimid State, I think, is a protectorate. Yeah, so they're gonna be hard to get in. These guys, I think that okay, it's important that we work to get rid of this as well. The interest payments are really expensive if you are a regional power. Looks like we are going to get into them here. Ooh, sorry, Mexico. You'll be missed. Ooh, what is this? Well, they're probably going to win that, but... I wonder how much stronger we need to get in order to fight them ourselves. This is only for while we're trying to pass this. I think we could get by without it. This is kind of our cooldown one. We don't mind taking a couple extra ticks of this while nothing happens. It's not an absolute need, and also no one opposes it, so it's going to get through pretty comfortably. Chile will probably capitulate pretty soon here. Standard of living is creeping up, and somehow we get a little bit of a minus here. We will get rid of our worst tax. We are making a lot of money now. Is this from increased revenue? What increased exactly? Income taxes? Yeah. Poll taxes, consumption taxes. Yep, all makes sense with the rising standard of living. We'll get out of this pretty soon here. It's a little uncomfortable deficit. We should have been more proactive about avoiding this deficit, because this is a bit expensive. We are paying a bit in subsidies, so let's take a look and make sure we're on rails everywhere. Yeah, everything's on rails. But we can afford a much larger military. So why don't we... I like to do multiples of 5, and it's eating at my soul that I increased this by only 2. So we'll put 5 in the back. We do want to go to skirmish infantry as soon as we can make our own ammo. I think... maybe after this war we just swap to skirmish infantry and then import. We do vassalize Chile, which I think transferred our guy away from this front. Ooh, I guess we moved the wrong guy. Should figure it out. All will be well. Let's take a look at infrastructure here. Yeah, there we go. That's a problem. So, you guys have regular ports. Let's go cargo ports. Which, of course, will rapidly expand the amount of infrastructure you have and should cover that. Now you, Booligan, that's not our problem, actually. I thought we were colonizing here already. Well, we will start. And we will add a port. And, yeah, we want it to be cargo. And kind of want to make a dyes plantation, but generally want to lean on importing that stuff because our current system doesn't pay for it. Yeah, we don't slow down manufacturing for anyone. They are unhappy though, so maybe we should take a closer look at that event. This is a really nasty one. The trade unions are just so important to keep happy, but once we will enact something that they like once after this. To try and get out of that. Looks like we will be enforcing relatively soon here. I wonder how much Chile is paying us. I think it's one of the bigger payments. It's 4K, so that is a pretty big deal. I think we want to incorporate Buenos Aires as well, so let's do that. It takes quite a hot minute, but it has relatively high arable land, not a whole lot of resources. It's a pretty good incorporation. Let's see if any place has not enough tax capacity. No. So we'll just put a government admin where we kind of don't have one yet, which we will need eventually. Very tempted, with this increasing, I'm tempted to increase construction again, especially because we have 2.4 mil in the investment pool. We just have to make sure we're building industrial stuff primarily. So, oop, didn't mean to put that there. I meant to put that there. At the front of the queue. Expand construction a little bit. Try and dig us out of this. We want to keep this number kind of in the negative if we can, because we want to drain this investment pool, but we want to keep it very slightly in the negative because we don't want to drain it and then get hit over the head with our own construction queue. I think we will level 2 you as well. And then iron might become a little bit of a problem, so we'll put a few iron mines in the queue. And our queue's pretty filled up, so we will not be relying on the auto queue to kind of finish it off. Can't tell if we've occupied a bunch or occupied nothing. I think we've occupied nothing. I think we lost the Chilean front because Chile is not against Argentina in this war, so it's going to be a slow push from here, but this is fine. We have a little bit of infamy to decay. Now, notably, since we are unrecognized, we get a whole bunch more infamy from, like, everything. Kind of waiting for a civil war here will be very nice for us, because then we can demand recognition, which will have a bunch of positive benefits. How close are you? So yeah, our kingdom, for just a little bit of action here. We could bankroll them, but it's 6K, which is an uncomfortable amount. That's like, we get an obligation from Oman, though. You see it off to the side here. You can see it now. And so, let's invite you to Customs Union using the obligation. Oh, you don't accept? Tragic. It's -1 from the ideological difference in our governments. So what we can do, since they're just cordial, we can absolve the obligation, and now that they're amicable, next obligation we get with them, they will accept. And we will continue bankrolling them. Yeah, switching to the perhaps we should have swapped to like the Diplo approach earlier instead of just annexing our way through. But we wanted a little bit more sand anyways, so private health insurance. I think we are going to take the prestige here because we don't really need the industrialist stronger, and the prestige is, it's not going to jump us into next tiers very easily, but it's going to bring us a little bit closer, and we are again just kind of using this as a little bit of cooldown. There is a movement for public schools. Public schools would be a little bit more effective right now until you get to, I think it's close to around 20 is when public schools shift and they start becoming not as efficient as private. Obligation we owe to Spain expired. Hiya. Bali wants an alliance? I don't think so. Could go after Benjar next, probably. We enforce on Paraguay, the nothing burger. We are getting out of this. We are not draining the investment pool, and I would like to be draining it ever so slightly. So why don't we add another construction? No, we already have 2 construction center here. One moment. Alright, we are back. Sorry about that. I was adding a construction center somewhere. Gonna look for a place where we don't have a level 2-1 already. We kind of have a level 2-1 in all these like main states, except for Transjordan doesn't have a single one. So we'll put a construction center in Transjordan, and we'll take the on pause. We're about to enforce here, so we can look for another war. We are decaying pretty comfortably. We could also swap over all our PMs. I don't think we can build a munitions plants yet, but we have one over here, so that's actually kind of nice. I think that we will be maybe incorporating some of this territory as well. Specifically the ones that do not have any resources. So it will be a bit of a long incorporation, but they don't have a lot of pops at this current juncture. So we will do that. There and there. And we will build a rail here and a rail here. Patagonian people are migrating to Aleppo, which is nice. It will take quite a while for this incorporation to go through, though. So we are just going to be eating some bureaucratic costs for quite some time. This is okay. Guess we'll put that in as well, which won't get paid for in terms of, you know, the investment pool transfer, but this is fine. I think we will look to expand construction yet again here in Syria. And then we're going to take a look at tend to our PMs. Mechanized looms will make labor cheaper, even if it's not the most profitable. And let's say encourage people to migrate where we want. Nice. Secular is definitely where we want to be. Get some gold mines. We're going to swap these around. Make sure they have maximum boom booms. Now, why do you say I have... Because I've never swapped to them? Okay. We are just, like, not able to solve this. We could import them, I suppose. Are we researching dynamite? No, we're researching percussion cap. Okay, so we are going to import those for now. That way we can finally turn on all the good PMs. No, we want to turn on the boom booms. want to turn on the boom moves everywhere. Slaughterhouses will be nice. We are going to get to decrease, put in a bunch of rails, which will decrease the price of our, that we are paying into the subsidies. We want everything on hardwood. So all that feels pretty good there. We are floating some excess bureaucratic administration. So we will take a look here, and any place that doesn't have something like a sulfur mine or a coal mine, we will look to be incorporating. So I think that includes here. Oh, we're not done colonizing that yet. Okay, fair enough. Let's make sure we are colonizing it. I guess we don't need this government admin, so we'll kick it to the back of the queue. We are back to making money. I think we will swap these guys over to... I think we'll swap everyone over to skirmish infantry. How much ammo is this going to use? 34. So I think we will not run a shortage, and our place should be able to employ, but just in case, we're actually going to import from Russia if we can. Or someone, hopefully adjacent to our market. I guess we can't do adjacent, so... The Austrians we have a trade agreement with, so we'll import from them. So we can give him some popularity. He's pretty popular already. Do we want him to get more clout? I think we just want to pass this reform. Well, we don't hate the clout. And we don't hate him being popular. This is fine. Let's see. This is growing. We kind of don't want that to be growing. We want it to be shrinking. So what we will do is we will look to add construction centers out here. We'll look to add, we'll add 3 to try and stay ahead of this. And we are starting to, we got a lot of radicalism, which is unfortunate. We do need guaranteed libs to try and stop this. Which is a whole nother reason for, you know, making sure this passes faster. We've had really low legitimacy this whole time, which has just been very uncomfortable. I don't think we can... Yeah, there's not like a more legitimate looking government. We could even do this though for passing some stuff trade unionists like, which we might do in a hot minute. Population is increasing a little bit, mainly on the back of, you know, incorporation, but this is fine. So, who are they a subject of? They're subject of the French market. We are not going to be able to bring them into our market very easily. Let's double check Oman and see if we... No, we don't have another obligation yet. We would love an obligation from you. Oh, we can invite them to customs union and owe them an obligation now because we're within 30. Which I think I like. They can pull us into a defensive pact. We don't mind having a defensive pact with them. And then we can start bankrolling these boys. Which is going to be a little bit of a pretty penny. Yeah, I think we bankroll these guys, and we are trying to snake our way to China here. We owe them an obligation. They'll likely call it in to give us a defensive pact, but it expands our market, which is going to allow us to siphon off some pops from them, which will be quite nice once we get freedom of religion, although I believe they are the similar religion to us. If we take a look, population... They're primarily Shia. And we are oh, we're Sunni. Whoops. That's awkward. Don't want to make that mistake. The investment pool is turning up, though. Absolutely. Real fast. So... I mean... I guess we'll increase the construction center. I hate this can opener event. Just very insipid. The construction's been coming up quite a bit. We are pulling our way out of debt, slowly. We want to get this investment, we want to get that number down. 3 million we have. Do we have no... We were going to put industries in one of these. Let's look at what's expensive in the market. Glass is expensive and porcelain is expensive. Well, it seems like there's a simple way to solve that. We will start a glassworks here. We'll put it one at the front of the queue, one at the back of the queue. And then we'll give them a construction center so they can build all that faster. That one construction center is not going to be enough, so we'll give them a second, which will be quite a bit of employment here. And then we'll add a construction center here, which will provide some employment. And then what do we want to build there? I think we can hold off on building anything there. We do want more food industries, I think. But booze is really, really cheap. We want to make the groceries cheap. Our people don't drink booze. We will export to the Russians. We will export to the Austrians because we have trade agreements with both of them. And we will export to the Prussians as well. Which should make this wildly profitable. We'll add another couple. We'll look around at the infrastructure needs. Looks like we do have quite a bit of radicalism, unfortunately. I think a lot of it's on the back of discrimination as well. Mostly decreases in standard of living. Okay, being conquered by a foreign country, fair enough. In search of a better life. You know it, Lebanon. Alright, we have a revolution proc. Ugh. That is a bit uncomfortable. Paying a decent amount for military goods. Let's take a look at... We have 35 battalions right now and military of 274. And the Ottomans... Yep. We're going to need a substantive amount more battalions, but we can push around countries like this. We can conquer Banjar. Keep expanding a little bit here in Borneo. We are an unrecognized major power now, which is going to make it easier to get people in the customs union. They're almost willing to join Raw Dog. We can do a bunch of trade with Afghanistan as well, so let's try and do that actually. They're the Afghan market. Let's take a look what they have in here. Well, we can export to you hardwood, I guess. Nope, we can't. Not profitably. But furniture, surely we can export to you profitably. Yeah, we can. And clothes we can as well. And luxury clothes certainly. Certainly. And then meat probably not, but maybe we have really cheap meat in our market. No, we can't. Just barely can't. I feel so smart because I was on the fence whether or not we could do it. We could import from you guys silk, fabric, wine. And we are doing this to increase the volume of trade, which makes them like us more. But it also makes it easier to pull them into the customs union, which is what we're trying to do because we're trying to get a route to Qing. I think we will also import fabric from Qing. Okay, yeah. We'll also import dyes from them, I think, if we can. Profitably, at least. No, we cannot. Grain, can we? We can import grain. They're adjacent to the market, so it costs no convoys. Just costs a government administration. Well, this episode, we are concluding right now. We've done two really useful things. We have, number one, expanded the market to include Persia, which is going to be very nice, especially when we snake over here to Qing. We are doing this largely because we have to be on our own market now. It feels like, as a result of various factors, Russia kind of not playing ball. Maybe we could go into the Austrian one, but we're going to play on our own for now. And we also annexed Argentina and puppeted Chile, so it feels like a pretty productive episode. It feels like we've gotten a lot stronger. We still haven't, managed to take care of this debt, but we've, I think we doubled construction in this episode, so that's pretty good. We are passing through reforms. It's a little bit slow. I think we kind of got trapped underneath our elections for a little bit, but we are starting to get out. We are starting to get a little bit liberalized. The landowners are getting pretty marginalized, so all in all, doing pretty well. Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and have a good one.